It doesn't matter if you're young or old, or where you're from. We all find beauty in nature, and in trees especially. They stand quietly all around us, and they change throughout the seasons. Today I'm going to read a book to you called Sky Tree, written by Thomas Locker and Candace Christensen. Notice the relationship between the shape of the tree and the colors of the sky throughout the book and how those change. Once a tree stood alone on a hill by the river. Through the long days, its leaves fluttered in the soft summer breeze. How do you feel on a perfect summer day? Then the days grew shorter and the nights longer. The winds became cold and the tree began to change. Changing weather often means storms. Autumn came. The leaves of the tree turned gold, orange, and red. Squirrels hurried to store nuts and acorns. Notice all the gold, orange, and red in the picture, and how that contrasts the blue of the background. The sun rose later each day. One morning, light glistened on a thin silver frost. By the end of the day, many leaves began to fall. First one, and then another. How do you feel when you look at the painting of the leaves falling? On a gray day, an old snapping turtle buried herself in the river mud, where she would sleep until spring. The tree's bare branches reached toward the sky. The clouds opened, and for a moment, the sky filled the branches. You see the sky, and all of this is cloudy. On a misty morning, a flock of birds landed where the tree's leaves had been. The birds chirped, squabbled, and sang, but suddenly their wings beat the air, and they flew away. Clouds gathered and filled the tree's empty branches, and then drifted away. Ice formed on the river's edge. With its roots deep into the earth, the tree stood ready for winter. Does this painting make you feel like something's about to happen? Snows fell. Snug in their nest, a family of squirrels huddled close through the cold winter days. How does this painting capture the stillness of a snowy day? All night, millions of stars twinkled among the branches of the tree. Beneath the river ice, the old snapping turtle slept. The world was waiting for spring. Late one afternoon, a golden light streamed through the clouds and warmed the tree. The ice on the river began to melt, and the snow disappeared into the ground. How does this painting show that winter is ending? Ooh, the smell of wet earth filled the air. Squirrels raced through the fresh grass and up the tree. Sap rose into the tree's tight buds. How did the artist show hope in this picture? The old snapper crawled out of the mud to lay her eggs on the warm hillside. The tree's leaves uncurled in the spring sunlight, and the birds returned to build nests for their young. Now the tree is full and round again. The tree stood on the hill by the river. Once again, its leaves fluttered in the soft summer breeze.
Do you have any trees that are special to you? Maybe it's one you'd like to climb, or you have a memory. Think about what kind of art you like to make. This artist drew a picture of she and her family going to picnic in a park and sit beneath a big apple tree. This artist focused on the shape of her trees against the sunset sky. These tall trees in the snow show that stillness of winter. This artist made a monster of a tree for his serpent to wind around. A tree is beautiful. How are you going to show the beauty of nature in your art? Here's a few tips on how to develop your craft and sharpen some of your skills in the studio. If you choose Drawing Studio, you may want to look at images or pictures of different kinds of trees. Try drawing trees in many different ways. In the Collage Studio, you can crumple your paper to give it some texture and make it kind of bumpy like bark. When I'm making a tree that doesn't have all its leaves or doesn't have any leaves at all, I like to cut out rectangles, and as they get closer to the top of the tree, there's thinner rectangles, and I arrange them into Y shapes once I get them on the paper. Then after they're arranged, I glue them down. Another fun thing I can do is tear paper. If it tears easily and in a straight line, that's with the grain. If it tears kind of in chunks, that's called against the grain. With the grain and against the grain. Finally, when I'm making a collage, I like to draw in some detail and make it fun. In sculpture, we're going to review how to flange a cylinder. That's what I'm doing right now as I'm making cuts about a thumb's width apart, and I fold them out. We flange rounded forms like cylinders, put some glue on it, and then I want to press down on those flanged pieces, not on the top of my cylinder, but on those pieces. Should be able to pick it up. Nice strong connection. Now I'm going to make 2 small slots or cuts into the top of my cylinder. And that is so I can slide my treetop in. So I draw my treetop, cut on my line, and then I can slide it right into those 2 slots. They shouldn't be very long, about the length that you cut to make a flange. See, it just goes down a little. Oh, if I want extra staying power, I can mark with pencil the length of the cylinder and make 2 cuts in my treetop. Slide that down. That really holds on, it won't fall off. Okay, it's time for choice, and I can't wait to see what you're going to make.